All right, guys. Welcome to another episode, or I should say the first episode, actually, of the Carrendo Show. And here's my first guest, David.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome to be here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the help.
Exactly.
So, yeah, David, he's been helping me out with this podcast, setting it up. And it has been a mission. We've been working on this for about a month now. And I had three other friends come out and help me to set up, and it's just been a nightmare, but we kept pushing through.
That's right.
And eventually I got in contact with David through a friend from middle school. He's married to her.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
yeah, so
It's crazy.
it's crazy how this world just
Yeah.
we're all connected in a
Small world.
small world.
Definitely
And
small world.
so, I think a reminder that you should keep contact with everybody. You just never
Definitely.
know who you'll find. And
That's right. Yeah.
like I said, it's a friend of mine from middle school, and yeah, we're able to have this here. If I didn't have that friendship with her back then, I don't know how would we be setting this up. So yeah, keep contact with everybody, and always have a good relationship.
That's right.
And
That's good. Yeah.
thank you for being here, and
Absolutely.
let's get this started, man. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into this setting up what is it, are you an engineer for
Yeah. So
something?
it's sound engineer, recording engineer, audio engineer. It's
Yeah.
all the same. So I started off. Well, technically, I was a musician first,
Okay.
and just trying to find my way into it. And then I realized that I want to be more into the audio side.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, let me just take some classes or see what's going on. And I went to the Recording Connection. They have offices out in, I think it's in Hollywood or something like that.
Okay.
And what's kind of cool about this program is that they partner you up with a mentor. And so my mentor was Donnie Baker, and he has a studio called ES Audio out in Burbank.
All right.
And so I was with him for about a year. He was kind of showing me the ropes, how to set stuff up, how to record, just stuff like that, and then do my classes online,
And
slowly branching out.
did that mentorship did it develop over time? Did you approach him? How did you get a mentor?
So the school that I went to just partnered you up with them, so they go straight in. So
Okay.
he was one of the, I guess, like faculty members.
Right.
And so that's what they partnered me with him. So it was pretty cool. It was fun. Great guy.
Yeah.
Down to earth. He was so cool.
Yeah. Hey, and what you said, you're a musician. What instrument did you used to play?
Well, I still play
Or still play.
guitar. Yeah, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. Mainly, it's on the acoustic because I grew up in a Christian home.
Yeah.
So it's mainly around like contemporary Christian music, stuff like that. And yeah, man. So it was acoustic guitar, electric guitar. Went into a little bit of bass when I was playing at a church, and slowly started doing my own thing.
Right.
Played a little bit of drums here and there, and keyboard too. So.
That's great. So
Yeah.
so you grew up in a Christian household.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Was it how was that? Is it a little strict or?
Yeah, definitely. It was strict, but I don't know. Like, I mean, not too bash or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it was my parents. They did the best that they could, and they told me right and wrong, and me, stubborn as I am, was like the wrong way. There I am. I'm gonna go straight over there. I did a lot of mistakes when I was young or when I was younger, and so yeah, man, it was just.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was. I grew up with morals, with work ethic and stuff like that. So, I mean.
Yeah. That's something. I have a lot of friends that are Christian, and they have this all common, just these morals, and something that I admire because that's how I would want to raise my family as well. And some of my best friends, they're Christian, and you have friends all kinds of world, and especially in LA, it's so crazy because you have so many cultures, so many religions, and it's just this bubble this melting pot.
Yep.
And as opposed to other countries where just one religion dominates and everybody's the same. So how was your experience with that, dealing with so many religions, like are you still Christian?
I am. I still practice it. Yeah, I still practice it.
So how do you deal with they're always constantly testing your faith.
Yeah, it's strange because like I mean I'm not perfect or anything like that, so I mean there are a lot of people who are like, oh no, you have to do it like by the book and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I to be honest, I still struggle with a lot of the stuff that's even in that book,
Yeah.
in the Bible. And I think that religion is just by itself just a religion. If you want to practice it, that's cool, whatever.
Right.
I don't have like a problem with anyone else. If you want to believe in a tree, that's cool. I'm alright with it. I just try not to enforce things like on people because that's not. I don't think that's the. I don't know. Like, if I want to say like I guess my faith is the best one or something like that, I gotta prove it.
Right.
And so I don't know. That part I'm still working on where I can like, because Jesus did all this stuff like in the Bible. He did all these like crazy miracles and stuff. And I find myself in a position where like I do believe all this is true, and it'll be great if I see people go into that faith. That'd be great, but I know that even I question like, okay, well, can you heal people? Because that's what Jesus said. And, he said that greater things you're gonna do, if you believe in me and stuff. And I'm like, I still struggle with that part. Like, man, like I tell myself I'm not there yet. I would like to be, because can you imagine like. You're just walking around and like you just start healing people, or like you start saying stuff like about people's past that they didn't know, or like that you knew about them or stuff like that, like just stuff like that. Like I don't know, like what if I could cure cancer, or like stuff like that, that'll be like totally game changer,
right?
And I'm sure like a lot of people would be like, oh no, he's like a fanatic. It's just, I don't know. It's just it'll be interesting to have some kind of, I mean, like to get there. That'd be pretty cool.
No, and that's great that that you don't push yourself onto or your religion onto others, and I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
As for me, I grew up as a Catholic who would go to church every Sunday, and it's still something that I struggle with. Like I said, I grew up Catholic. Stopped attending church for a long time, and then I just went to church one more time with my wife, but she's actually Mormon.
Oh,
and
okay,
and it was a different experience for sure, because in the Catholic it was just I just remember sitting there and just listening to what is it for Catholics, it's not
like
a bishop.
Mass or something like that?
Yeah, just a mass and the Father, I think. What is it called?
Yeah,
I don't know. And then when I went to the Mormon church, a lot of people, they're giving their testimony, and in the Catholic church, I never experienced that. Never somebody giving their testimony. So it was cool that like I could relate with people, and not everybody. There's this pressure of you have to be perfect. But nobody is perfect, and that's the best part when you're open about it and share your struggles, and I thought that was really cool. So that's why I became Mormon with my wife, and
nice.
And just it was definitely not an eye opener, but
nice.
I definitely still have my my struggles, especially because religion's so much history, and like it's just so complicated when you go back at it, looking just how we got to this point, and there's a lot of like a troubled past, you could say, but I mean we're at this point, and there's just gotta do the best with what you got.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you don't like, I mean, I feel like if you don't like kill anyone, or like you let people just do what they kind of want to do.
Yeah.
Let them live in peace. I mean, at least for me, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. You don't want to bother me, I'm not gonna bother you.
Right,
okay,
right.
We're good.
Yeah, we're
good. We're neighbors. All right, cool. We're cool. So.
And then when you got married by the church, how was that experience, man? For you, like, I'll tell you a little bit about my experience. I remember when first of all, when I got baptized, I would see videos, people of like fainting and things like that. I was like, man, how can someone get so emotional and faint?
Yeah.
And then when I was in that position, just right before a couple minutes, I was like blacking out. I was like, no, this is not happening to me. Like what? And yeah, but luckily I didn't. I didn't faint, I didn't black out, nothing. But yeah, I was getting. I think it's just the emotions. You know, you're so excited, so happy.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
same thing. When I got married, there's so much going on, and it's very stressful. We were planning the wedding, and I should say my wife was planning the wedding because she took care of most
You
of
were
it.
just chilling right there.
Yeah, she was a
no.
boss. I was like, oh man, and yeah, cause my wife she is from Guadalajara. Oh, I mean she's from Zacatecas, but we got married in Guadalajara,
Yeah.
and she was setting everything up over there from Guadalajara while I was here in LA, and it was I gotta give her props for
Props.
taking care of everything, holding it down.
Nice.
And then just me showing up like I think it was 3-4 days before our marriage. Just I was like, all right, I'll take credit for everything. But yeah, that's how it was. How about yourself? How was
Well, we
what
got
did it-
married in the Anaheim Hills. There was a recreation center or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of woodsy. We both wanted that and stuff. Because we were both Christian, we did the whole like kind of baptism thing. I think it's like the little cracker and then the little juice and stuff like that. And it was pretty cool because like at least for me, well, I mean, I'm gonna say even for my wife, like it was cool because we had our experiences.
I think that's my dog. Yeah.
Our experience was pretty cool because ours, I really felt like a connection, like right there at that moment.
Yeah.
I felt like we kind of merged us into as one. Like I think the Mormons, I think it's kind of the same thing, right? Or I think there's like I don't know, but it's like I felt like we were like just merged in there.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool.
That
like,
union.
like we're not. It's no longer you or me,
Right.
Stuff like that, and so yeah, I really felt that when we got married and stuff, and even when we were doing our finances and like finding a place for ourselves. I mean, it was pretty cool because like it was just one. We're doing everything as one, and it's so like I don't get that. I still even today I still get in trouble for it. Cause I'm like, man, I should buy that guitar. That looks nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wait, honey,
Gotta check
is
over
it
the
okay?
finances.
And she's like, no, wait, it's not in the budget. And I'm like, dang it. But like just stuff like that. Like I mean, I don't know. It's still a process, so it's cool.
And obviously you're happy, but did you feel any anxiety or nerves, anything like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I remember for me it was like I came to that realization like, okay, like if I messed up, it was on me. But now if I mess up, like this affects another person. Like, oh man, I just have this responsibility just dropped on me. I was like, before I was like, whatever happens to me, I'll just go along with it. But now I have another person that that I have to look out for as well. It's not just me anymore. So that
I had a lot of those moments.
Yeah.
A lot of those moments where I'm like, dang it, like I shouldn't be saying this because it's not, it doesn't reflect on me just only. It reflects on her. And I'm like, and, just stuff like that. Like even like like I said, the purchases. Like I still kind of like I remember splurging this one time, and she got pissed. She was like, I can't believe I married you. Oh my god! And I was like, yeah. But I had that anxiety like when we got leading up to the marriage, even for the proposal when we became engaged. It was I was so nervous, man. I was like so nervous. The anxiety that I had was probably up to the roof. At least for me, it was like I looked like I was okay, but inside I was like, oh my god, I hope I get everything right. If I mess up, I hope she's cool and says like, it's cool, let's do this together. Man, but it's just it was a rough patch.
And how long have you guys been married now?
2 years. It's been 2 years and like I don't know 6 months or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we're going into our second year of marriage as well.
Okay, so you and I are in about the same boat.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Nice.
that first year, it's been great, but like there's those tough times where it's like it's just getting used to working with each other or how things are set up at home. You know, just when you live on your own, you have your the way you set up your things. For example, my wife, she hates when I leave the towel on the bed. That's a habit I have. I just leave it on the bed, and she's like, just go hang it somewhere so I can dry off. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, this is just what I do. This is 28 years of me doing this,
I know,
and then all of
yeah.
a sudden, someone telling you, no, go put it up there. I was
Exactly.
like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. But going back to a point that you said, that is, it doesn't just reflect you. It also reflects your wife. Is that, correct me if I'm mistaken?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
How do you feel about what's going on right now? Like as far as just like a lot of this cancel culture, and it's not even affecting the individual. Now it's the actions of the individual's partner, their wife or their husband, and so it's like you may be alright, but your wife, she did something, and now they're going after you, and it's
going after me, going after her, my house, whatever.
it's some crazy times, man. But
Yeah.
like you said, it's a union, but people need to realize, at least my opinion, people need to realize, that you're two individuals, and just because you're married, just because the union doesn't mean you agree on everything.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that. It's two brains, so you're never gonna be 100%. And
Yeah.
I think it's unfair to treat people like that, like based on their partner's actions, and
Yeah.
to like I believe forgot who it was. I want to say it was from the MLS, a Galaxy player. I forgot his wife, what she tweeted. Something that apparently offended people, and yeah, and he ended up getting fired. He got released from the team for his wife's words, and it's like, man, like it's not from him, it's his wife.
Well, it kind of makes you rethink, like, I should really rethink what I'm saying,
Yeah.
What people, especially right now with Twitter, and all that social media stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough for someone to voice their opinion and not get any backlash.
Right.
Because someone's going to be out there and say, no, I believe in this. And because of that, cancel you or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's tough, especially in a country like like the United States, where like the roots of it is just like freedom of speech, freedom of religion and stuff. You got the freedom to do kind of not whatever you want, but like pretty much, And
yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
I always say it's like, in this country, we have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom of what's that word? I just lost it right now.
No.
Freedom of speech, but not freedom of. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Freedom of not actions. Freedom of speech is not the same as freedom of consequence. I believe something like that. We'll get back to it, but
but basically that's true. You're right. Like, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but you got to realize that there's consequences to
right.
it. Obviously, if you say, I don't like so and so, the president, right? There's gonna be another party on the other side that's gonna say, well, I don't like you because you look like this, or you believe in this, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you just got to realize that. I mean, I don't really care if people like have different opinions. It's just, there's just a constructive way of doing it. I think. If you want to have your opinion that Trump is cool. Right. I don't like him, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, man. For me, Trump is just such a weird character. It's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes like he's just a troll or a comedian. It's like, man, I can't believe this guy's the president. Like,
yeah.
But in this last election, in 2016, I believe, right?
Yeah.
2016. Yeah. I voted for Trump just because I thought he would further the economy, and I mean he did to a point. But then you're seeing I came to a realization that, man, it's not just about the economy. There's other issues going on. Like, you really need a well-rounded individual, because they're so like with the protest and just calling people out on their stuff, and sometimes he won't call them out.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That's really hard for the nation, because we need someone to unite the nation rather than divide.
That's right.
And
we need a leader.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm on the same boat with you. Like, I mean, I didn't vote for Trump. I don't think I voted, but he was. There were things that I do like about him, like his business attitude.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Right.
He's all about like, hey, further the economy. Let's do this. Let's do that. he's on it.
Right.
I like that. That's good. That's good leadership right there. But he says some stupid stuff, and especially now with this whole, what's going on with Black Lives Matter and all that. Like his true colors just really just like overwhelm his business strategies.
Right.
Like things that you wanted him to do for business, and whether you liked it or not, it's being totally overshadowed by what's going on right now.
Right.
So he kind of reminds me of what's his name? Kind of reminds me of Bush, George W. Bush. Jr.
Yeah.
Because there was something that he did. I forgot what it was, and I think it was for Katrina or something like that. He took a long time to respond to it, or something like that.
Right.
And like people were like, "What's going on with this guy?" He was just kind of just like, "I guess go help them out."
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that's something. I think a lot of people, we've fallen into this habit of like, oh, the government, they'll take care of us. They'll be there for us, and especially with this coronavirus, it's shown the opposite. It's like, hey, like, you gotta sustain yourself, have an emergency fund or whatnot.
That's right.
Eventually, there will be some help, but I mean, the 1,200 stimulus, that's not enough to cover. It's been what, 3 or 4 months. That's not enough to cover rent, to all your bills and whatnot, and people need to take care of themselves, and I think that's something also in our school system that they haven't really pushed.
Yeah.
Because it's more they taught, at least in my opinion, from my experience in school, I feel like they teach us how to work for somebody rather than be innovative, create something for yourself, and it's a hard habit to break, especially when it's taught from kindergarten to all the way up to high school, or sometimes even college.
Yep.
But there needs to be a change in the education system, I believe, so that we can be more creative, and not be punished for being creative. Because sometimes you get punished for being creative, man.
You speak out in history class, and they're like, "Come on, man."
It's wild.
Yeah. No, but like it's good that you bring that up, because, I mean, I went to like LAUSD schools, right? And then in high school I was in a charter system in LA. And then, but growing up, I did not hear anything about like, this is how you pay your taxes.
Right.
When you pay your taxes, you're gonna look out for this. When you're starting a business, do this. You want to become wealthy? Do this, do that. Avoid this, avoid that. Didn't hear any of that. All I heard was, okay, you need to get a grade A, you need to get A on PE, math, and all that, which is cool. I mean, those are fundamentals. But like, come on, at high school, you're gonna start getting into the workforce, or even start doing your own business.
Right.
They don't really prepare you for any of that.
Yeah, and that would be great, like a tax preparation classes. I think I graduated in 2009, and my school, we were the last class, graduating class, where we had a driver's ed, so we were able to get our license at 16, our permits and everything.
Yeah.
And programs like that got cut. I remember we also had I think it was cooking class, that got cut. So it's like people are not learning how to sustain themselves. Like, I mean, to other people it's like, wow, that's, I mean, you can do that on your own, but some people, they don't have that option. Sometimes your school, that's all you have. They teach you how to cook, learn to drive. Not everybody has the luxury, of having a car, even that. So going to school, and that's where you learn to drive. That's where it is. Because at home you just don't have that opportunity for some people. Yeah. And it's a shame that programs like that get cut.
Yeah, definitely.
Things we need. But,
especially in the USD. I don't know if you went to a district like that, like LA Unified.
Yeah. I went up to middle school. I went to King Middle School, so it was LA school. Right. And we had a track system, which I don't know. I think it was horrible. My looking back at it, elementary to middle school was just a horrible setup. Just we had that track system, so I think we would go to school for 3 months and then take 2 months off, and then back 3 months and then 2 months off, and those 2 months after really are crucial.
Yeah, that sounds like my school too. Well, at least middle school. Middle school, I went to Fauché.
Yeah.
It's over there by somewhere south LA or something like that. And same thing. I was in track C, and it was like 2 months in, no, 3 months in, 2 months out, or something weird like that.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah. And also I remember just speaking going back to school in elementary. I don't know what it is, like I don't know if it's them holding you back. This is maybe going to like conspiracy, but when I was in elementary, and as well as my classmates, I had a ESL, even though I spoke English perfectly, and even like in 5th grade, I had those state exams. I got 100%, and still they put me in ESL. So it's like, looking back at it, it's like, man, were they trying to hold us back? Like why would you put somebody in ESL when clearly they're getting 100% on the exams?
Yeah.
So that seemed very suspicious to me looking back at it. And then when I transferred to middle school, they didn't even tell us those results that you did 100%. Like that's very big. That serves as a confidence booster when you're switching schools.
Yeah.
I didn't find out until I was like in 8th grade, where my math teacher's like, he somehow was able to look into our grades, and he's like, hey, how come you're performing like this when back then you used to get 100%? I was like, well, I didn't even know I had 100%. so it's weird that, I don't know, maybe the school system is too big, because
maybe, yeah.
we're LA County is so huge. It's really huge. So
yeah, I don't know where all the money goes. I always hear like, oh, public schools are getting funded for like 30, 50 million.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's that money at?
Yeah.
Where's that money at? I mean, I don't know. I think the higher ups get most of it, and then like it trickles down to all the schmucks.
Yeah, trickle down economics. It's
Yeah.
proven it does not work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Well, they're getting paid too much for absolutely nothing. So, I mean, if that's the case, then sign me up. Right?
Right. Make me the principal. Make me the head of LAUSD or something.
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
my goodness, it's tough.
That's kind of whack though. But
and then what was your graduating class? What year were you?
For middle school?
For high school.
For high school? Well, I was the first of the charter school when it opened up. So I was graduated in 2008. My class size was, I don't know, maybe like 25, 50, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was small. And
do you think you felt that, was that a benefit, or how did you like that?
Let me see. Let me try to remember high school. Oh, man. The cool thing about high school was that because I was really into math and science.
Yeah.
We had a physics class, and it was pretty awesome. Those only two were probably the best ones that I had. Everything else, like my history, I liked history. Well, I did like history, but it wasn't because of what was being taught. It was because my teacher then was she was nice to me. For being a troublemaker, she was nice to me. And so that's the only reason why I liked it. But I mean, like my writing class, I was taking a Spanish class, and I was like, I should move on to something else. Like, I mean, maybe Chinese or Italian, French. French is it's diplomatic, so I mean that's something that could benefit anyone going into that arena. And then Chinese probably would have been even better because there's a large group of Chinese people here in LA. So that could have been that.
And who knows, man? It seems like we all might be speaking Chinese in the future.
I know,
right?
I mean, or Cantonese. I don't know how many
the way it's growing, China. It's
exactly. See, I could have. I mean, economics. Those guys, the people who do all that, they could have foreseen like, hey, taking a Chinese class or speaking Chinese would benefit you a lot if you're going into this kind of business or anything like that. But no, I didn't get that. Maybe in the private sector, private schools and stuff like that. But yeah, we didn't get that.
I think going back at like even like movies, like they're ahead, and I think they sometimes give you clues as to what's gonna happen.
Right.
Because I don't know, man. Just thinking Back to the Future, things like what's happening, and it's like huh, there's that a lot of that stuff did happen. Yeah. And there's another movie. It was called I think Looper with Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, Bruce Willis and what's his name? The guy from 500 Days of Summer. Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that movie was what, about 10 years ago,
Like
and it was talking about China growing as emerging as number one, and here we are, and China really is becoming number one.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The Simpsons is like that too, because they predict a lot of stuff, and it's like, oh snaps, what the heck?
Yeah, that I saw recently from The Simpsons. Was it the virus was released? People are protesting, and then there's this little box like, is it bees or hornets that they're
the
released?
hornet bees. They came from like what, from Africa or something.
Yeah, correct. And now we have the murder hornets, and it's like, oh man, what's next? We just gotta watch the next Simpsons episode.
I know, right? Just watch it now, and then make sure you pack everything 10 years from now.
Yeah, man. It's crazy how life is, and it's really interesting. But man, 2020 has been a tough year for everybody. I mean,
it definitely has.
We just had that earthquake in
Mexico City.
It
was like a 7.4 or something like that.
7.4. And made me think, man, LA, we're due for one, man.
We're definitely due for one. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've had a couple of them, but they're just been like small ones.
Yeah.
The ones that kind of just shake it and you're like, oh, was that a truck? Okay, whatever.
Right. Yeah, I also go to, like I said, I was telling you earlier, I go to Tijuana every weekend. Yeah. And I go over there with my wife, and we were there for an earthquake, and I just forgot how an earthquake was. Even though you live here in LA, like, we haven't had a strong earthquake. Luckily, we haven't had a strong earthquake. As a little kid, I remember having the strong earthquakes, but then for maybe the last 10, 15 years, I can't remember a strong one. And being in Tijuana, and when that earthquake hit a couple months ago, I was like, oh, this is how it is. It just reminds you of that fear, like, oh, you don't have so much control.
I know you don't. You just gotta hold on, and that's it.
Yeah. And it makes you think, like, in those moments you think you'll know what to do, but for me I was just in shock, I guess you could say. I didn't know what to do. I was like, am I supposed to run out, or like, my wife, she's like, you didn't do nothing. I was like, yeah, I know, that's weird, because usually I react. And my wife she's the opposite. She freezes in moments. and I'm the one who usually reacts, but in that moment I was like, huh, I don't know, maybe I was just fascinated by the earthquakes just because I haven't experienced one in a while. So. Weird words to say, but
but we're kind of used to it here. I mean, for not having them a lot, having them quite frequently, it's I guess for me, I'm kind of used to it. Yeah. Because the last big one that I remember was like, I think it was a Northridge one, and then there was one right after that one. But there was
I remember that.
Yeah, because I think the Northridge was like 92 or something like that. I think it was in
92, 93, around there.
Something like that. I just know that I was barely, I barely came out of my mom, so so I faintly remember one of those, but I remember one clearly where it really shook the house, where with my parents, and it was crazy because like stuff was falling out, and like my brother, he got up, he was like, oh my god, and then, like, we were just like, oh, what's going on? And but yeah, so now, like, I mean, that's the last one I remember, and then like now, like, I don't know if it was like last month or the month before, there wasn't a big one, but there was one that kind of shook our apartment, and I told my wife, because I was like, hey, did you feel that? And she was like, no. I was like, was that an earthquake? And she was like, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, man, and it's wild, and hopefully we don't experience a big one anytime soon.
Hopefully
but
not.
we gotta really be prepared. And
oh, but you heard about Yosemite, or what was it? Not Yosemite, sorry.
Yellowstone.
Yeah. Like, it's starting to like rumble, and like, things are happening over there. I was like, man, that's it.
That's it.
That's
gonna be December 2020. Just go out with a big bang, man.
Like the Mayan calendar.
Yeah. I think they got the Mayan calendar was 2020, not 2012.
I know, right? 8 years later, that's alright.
Yeah. just small miscalculation.
Man, can you imagine? Like, you got the coronavirus.
Oh God.
You got
that's all we need.
The Social Society thing. Civil War kind of coming in.
Right.
And then an earthquake here in LA, then was it Yellowstone? That's it, man.
It's over, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To Mexico.
yeah, I don't know what's happening next, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hear a lot of like funny stuff just with everything that's been going on. Like Mexico's gonna start building the wall and
Yeah.
not let other people in.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny. Like,
That's pretty ironic.
wasn't that movie? Was it 2012?
No, yeah, day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something similar like that.
Yeah.
They just start holding people back. Oh man.
That would be ironic, man. That would be, and then you see all the white people who are so against like the Mexicans coming in. They're gonna be the ones going into Mexico, and I'll be like, wait, weren't you the ones that?
Yeah. Times. Hey, they can build that wall, but we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. That it might work against them. So
yeah, I know.
Holding themselves out. I don't know.
It's like shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's what they want.
There needs to be a definitely policy change, but I don't think there's that much immigrants coming into this country. Like before, like even the people I talk to, they're telling me they pay like $10,000 to cross. And
oh yeah, that's right.
The prices have gone crazy.
Yep.
Crazy. Like I think before, maybe with $1,000 or less, you would probably cross, but now 10,000. That's great a business for the people down there actually.
Yeah.
So they probably like the more stricter the U.S., the higher the cost for them to cross people, and they make more money.
What do they call the coyotes?
The coyotes.
There you go. Yeah, but I remember some guy. He used to work for some real estate company where I used to work at. He was like, I think he told me that he knows people that would come in who would take work visas and go to like Idaho, right? So the company out in like Idaho for farming. I don't know what it was. I totally forgot. Might be butchering this, so don't really quote me on this. Right? But I remember him saying that they would go from Mexico to like Idaho or Ohio or something like that. They would do the farming for like a couple of months, and then they'll come back. But it was all part of the work visa, part of the company that did that.
Right.
So they weren't technically immigrants, I guess. They would just like work back and forth.
Because they had a work visa.
They had a work visa.
Right.
And then, so that was interesting to hear that. And like this guy once told me that he's like what happens if you do all that, like if you close everything off, no one's coming in, or like very few people are coming in, right?
Right.
Like, well, he's like can you imagine the price of milk, like basic stuff like that, your water, your grapes, strawberries, because those guys are not getting paid what we're getting paid.
Right.
Minimum wage here in LA is like 15. He's like, I'm sure they're not getting paid like 15. They're getting paid like maybe $5, $8.
Right.
Something very small. He's like, so you're gonna see all those things that you like, the price is gonna go up like big time.
Yeah, it'll shoot up.
Yeah, and he's like, and then you're gonna realize, oh, okay, maybe we should let them come in. So
And,
I don't know.
Well, guess I'm lucky. I go to Tijuana every weekend because I just right there get it cheap and cross it.
Just cross right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but that's gonna be interesting because like I don't even think like even if the U.S. builds all that and no one's really coming in, just the amount of people that are still gonna come in, even if it's gonna be small. I don't know. People are still gonna come in regardlessly. Yeah. They're gonna find a way. They're gonna put up a ladder, go over the wall, build a tunnel, all the way out to like the middle of nowhere, get out. They're still gonna come in.
Right.
They're still gonna come in. So.
The one that surprises me, because being in Tijuana so often, I didn't even know. The first time I went to Tijuana, I didn't even know they had beaches there. I was like, what? There's beaches in Tijuana? I was like, that's crazy. Even though it's all coastline, California, right?
Yeah.
But it was just, I was like, huh. And then it got me thinking. I was like, I wonder how come more people don't cross, like, I don't know, through a boat or something. Or I'm pretty sure there's a Coast Guard, but from the times I've been there, I've never noticed like any ships, any Coast Guard, and that really did surprise me that nobody crosses like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not suggesting it, not putting that as an option. Just like I'm just saying that really caught me off guard that people don't cross that way. So mostly people just they cross the regular border.
Yeah, just drive through.
And shoot through. Yeah. Yeah, and then, man, there's so many stories just because like crossing that border every weekend.
I'm sure.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Man, people just it's not worth it. Like sacrificing your freedom. I mean, I know you people are desperate for money, but man, sacrificing your freedom just to cross drugs or maybe people at times, and it's just not worth it, man.
Yeah, you know, they're very creative too. The drug cartels.
Yeah.
They sneak it in the most like craziest places. Like there's like I don't know. There's some show on TV. I don't know what it's called, but they like they when they cross the border, like the dogs they sniff and they do all that, and then you realize that they cram it right into the AC compartments of the car, or like into like the chair, into like the seats, in the steering wheel. They'll find anything just to put it in. And just I saw was this one episode where they took the whole car apart, and they found it like deep inside like the dashboard or something like that.
Right.
They found it like really deep in there. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, man, they're you gotta give them that. They're very creative.
Yeah, they find ways.
I even seen like I guess they make watermelons. Like I guess they use the outside. Then they close it and then they paint it so it looks like it's still sealed.
Yeah.
and yeah, they're very creative. Even the craziest one I saw was this they were coming in from Cuba though, and somehow they got into the steel beams. And like I don't know how they do it, but I guess you have to like melt it down, and
dang,
it was just the craziest things. Like I don't know, people are just wild how creative they can be as far as cruising.
Well, it just shows you also that the demand here in the U.S. is high for for them to go through all that effort.
Right.
To do that. The demand is high for a little high.
A lot of consumption
here.
here.
Yeah, a little $1,000 high, whatever it costs. I don't know how much it costs.
And speaking of the drugs, like, have you noticed the change in here in LA and everything? I remember growing up, it was just people would smoke weed and you would hear about ecstasy, but the last 10 years, man, I just been hearing all these crazy drugs. For example, meth. What was that one from Russia? Crocodile. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
No, I haven't heard of that one. No.
There were people. It was crocodile. They were like injecting themselves, and like it would cause necrosis. So like their legs would literally fall off. They would just.
Oh jeez.
It would rot away to the bone.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That just blows my mind. I mean, how you get to that point? I want to talk to people about that. Like, I have talked to people, but I want to get more experience talking to people about that, because maybe it's just me. I just have a fear of needles. Like I can't ever picture sticking something inside me. Like I haven't even tried marijuana yet. I'll probably try it eventually. Have it down on my list. But
I don't know.
Yeah, man, sticking a needle that's extreme.
I mean, I've never done like cocaine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I drink every now and then. Weed, I had it a couple of times. The weed thing, like everyone raves about it, like oh my god. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I tried it, I was just kind of like, man, it's like whatever.
How is it? Is it like
I didn't really feel anything. I don't know if it was, like I said, I don't know if it was because of me. I only had it like just a couple of times. And it was just like...
Did you feel lazy or...
No, I mean, it's just... I don't know. I remember just doing it once with one of my friends. We were at a mountaintop. And like, we were just... He was already gone. And I was just like... I'm ready to go, man. Like, I was like, whatever. And he was just
like, what's next?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, man, you got another, got some more Jameson or something like that. And he's just like, and he starts, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, I guess for him, like, it really hits him hard. Yeah. But for me, I guess it just didn't. I mean, and I only had it, like, maybe a couple of times, like, maybe, like, 3 or 4 times. And I just remember, like, my friends were telling me, like, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. Gotta hold it in or whatever like that, and then you're not supposed to, I think, breathe it in or something like that. I don't know, I forgot. Yeah. I haven't done it in a while. And I was just like, okay, but nothing happened. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just too cool for that, man. Yeah. So.
Yeah. The only thing I did was which was popular way like 5 years ago, hookah.
Hookah?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
The hookah lounges, yeah.
I don't know. You would get this like lightheaded feeling. I don't know. It was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
It was cool for a couple seconds, but then it eventually got like where you wanted to throw up. I don't know if it was the tobacco or what it was, but
I've never done hookah. I mean, I've seen the stores or like the lounges.
yeah.
You know, over there in Hollywood and stuff like that, or the Melrose District.
I haven't been towards Hollywood. Is this? I mean, is it still popular? Like or?
Well, popular for tourists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, for someone who grew up in LA, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Dirty. It's dirty. There's a bunch of. You see homeless people. You see a bunch of people who are like, you know, strung out on drugs.
Yeah.
Laying on the floor. It's pretty dirty. I mean, the only time I would say that's like really like active is in like during the nights, because that's when the clubs and like, you know, the bars really open up.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, it's still kind of busy, but I don't go there.
Yeah, I grew up in the Silver Lake area, and
Oh yeah.
before
Gentrified.
yeah man, that before there was homeless, but they would always be under the bridge. And I moved out of Silver Lake in 2005, and at that time, like I said, there was just those few homeless under the bridge, and the last time I've been, the last couple of years, it's been crazy. It's not under the bridge no more. They have blocks.
Yep.
The whole entire blocks, and man, that problem keeps getting bigger and bigger. It seems.
Yeah, and especially now with the virus, I mean, it's not getting any worse. I mean, it's not getting any better. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people didn't save, and like they, even with the stimulus check, it just doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
You know, when does it run? It runs out in July, right, or something like that.
Yeah, I believe in July.
Or I think at the end of June, whatever it is. And then what? Well, what's gonna happen? You know. And if you don't have a job now, like if you're not looking already, or already in the process of interviews and stuff like that,
you're gonna fall behind.
Oh, it's gonna be real tough.
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids, you know, if you have like loans, credit cards, all that, you have debt. Oh my God,
I just hope people during this time off they take advantage of it, at least build up some skills or something, because
on YouTube, man. Just
yeah.
Go like to do like QuickBooks, how to become an accountant.
Yeah.
Like you can find classes like that. On YouTube for like they're like 4 hours long, and then all you do is just sit there, take notes, and then just put that on your resume. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, in QuickBooks, there's a free version of it, so it's like practice right there and then.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, just take some free programs, and people definitely need to take advantage of this time.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, luckily I was able to keep my job full time, but it did make me realize, hey, like that could have been me. I could have lost my job. I need to do something. That's why I started this podcast. Like I want to, you know, talk to people, grow, network, and just become a better person myself. And
that's how you do it.
Yeah, because nobody else is gonna do it for you. You gotta do it yourself.
No one's gonna hold your hand.
Yeah,
man.
nobody's gonna hold your hand.
You're already out of mom and dad's.
Yeah,
and then do it yourself.
Yeah, and then, as you can see, not even the government is gonna be there for you, man.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can't rely on anyone but yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta do it on your own, man.
It's wild, and I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Are you optimistic about the economy and what's coming, or you think we're gonna be bailed out again, or?
Man, I don't even know. I mean, it just keeps going up and down.
Yeah.
We were going up, and then all of a sudden, because of the virus, and I'm sure it's gonna go up again. I don't even know, dude. I think after the stimulus check, after that runs out, I think that's where it's really gonna go down. I mean, I don't know. Am I optimistic? Sure. With a slight little doubt right there, because like, I mean, I don't know, if you don't have a job that's like, you know,
essential.
Yeah, essential, or it's gonna hold through like this time, it's gonna be real tough. And like I was on Glassdoor. I don't know if you know about that website. Glassdoor is like where you go for like jobs and stuff like that, you know, to apply for them.
No, I never heard of it.
It's like Indeed.
Okay.
If you know of Indeed. So there's another one called Glassdoor.
Mm-hmm.
And so they give out these articles about like, you know, top paying jobs right now, or like how to do good on your interview or something like that, how to do well, whatever. And so they had an article out today that said jobs that are on the incline, right? Or they're going up, and the ones that are just going way down, right? Yeah. And so they gave like a list and stuff like that, and I was like, am I on it? Am I on it? Okay, I'm not on it. Okay, I'm good. And then right now I'm doing just like this part-time kind of job, and I was like, I found it in there, the one that's going up, and I'm like, I don't want to stay in there, but like I'm glad that I have a job that's like gonna last,
right.
Through this time, because if it's not essential, then it's gonna be real tough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real tough.
And then the emergence of robots. Automation? I think they call it.
Automation. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we already seen at the grocery stores or even McDonald's. Self checkouts.
Oh yeah, the little.
There's no more need for that person to take your order.
Right.
Or scan your products at the market. You can just do it yourself now.
Yep.
So that's a cut of jobs.
Yeah, but you need to know programming.
Yeah.
Which is why people didn't go into like coding in these last 3 or 4 months. Man, it's just real tough, man.
Yeah,
if you didn't prepare, if you were just sitting on the couch watching TV, playing games, watching Netflix, not being productive, it's really tough.
Yeah, it's really
it's gonna be really, really tough.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to get with technology, cause.
Yeah, I mean, especially like millennials. Like, I mean, you're part of it too. Like we already have that knack to it. Like we already have a step ahead of like the older crowd.
Yeah.
Those who were born like way before us and stuff. Because like we can understand this better. We've we grew up with like Nintendo, PCs, the internet. We already grew up with it. So it's it makes sense for us to just kind of get into it.
Right.
Like coding and stuff like that. There's this one. I was on Instagram. This guy, I think it's called Shaw Academy. I'm not really sure. It's some other school or something like that. They offer like free courses, like 4-week courses. You can learn Python. You can learn Java, JavaScript.
Yeah.
You can learn like stuff like that. And there are companies that will pay you not a lot of money, but they'll pay you. I mean, enough to support yourself.
Right.
Just with one of those or 2 of those programs. You do 4 weeks, or you do like a whole like 4-month course.
Yeah, and
if you didn't prepare yourself now, it's gonna be real tough.
Yeah, and if you become an expert at those programs on coding and all that, there's a lot of opportunity right now, because just everything we're headed towards that. Just using the internet as marketing. Even just Amazon was ahead of the curve. Look how they took advantage of. And capitalized it right here during the coronavirus.
Yep.
Everything was closing down, but Amazon, they're full force. They were hiring people. They're growing. Actually, they took advantage. Like I said, they took advantage and they're growing.
It's true though. And if you're a business that doesn't have, if you're not on the internet, if you don't have any type of social media too, now would be a good time to do it.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
People are gonna be like more at home than they were before. And if they don't have a job and if they're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna retire now. Then I don't know, man. It's just like you're just one click away from getting your food.
Yeah.
One click away from ordering your package.
Right.
And if those businesses want to stay ahead of the curve, I think it's just you gotta be on Instagram. You gotta be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that.
Yeah, I just feel it's tough for the mom and pop shops, because they're gonna stick to their old ways. It's worked for them up to this point, and a lot of them, they're gonna stick to their guns.
Yeah.
Because it's worked for so long that they're like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Hopefully they can adapt, or when they pass that on to whoever takes over for them.
Sink or swim.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to stay in that way, you better hope that you have some loyal ass customers, some loyal ass clients who will come in, and your product better be good too.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. I don't have a business besides audio engineering, but you gotta provide a product that's really worth for them to not have the convenience of just ordering it online.
Right.
Taking their time to go drive, opening the door and look around your shop.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, with the internet, there's so much. We have so many options, and applying that to the restaurant industry, like, people get tired of they, as much as you may love something, you get tired of eating at the same time, same thing over and over. So you're always gonna go try something else. Yeah. Oh man, McDonald's is the worst. I mean, as a kid, I used to like it when, especially they had that Big Mac on Mondays. I think for like 99 cents. But I'll tell you a crazy story right now. Yeah. So one time, my brother, we went to McDonald's right there. I believe it's on. Was it Vermont? Or
Vermont?
yeah, I think there's one on Vermont, right? Vermont and is it Melrose?
Vermont and Road. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's still there.
yeah, it's still there, but I shouldn't be there. Yeah, one time I got a burger and I bite into it, and I just got this massive pain in my tooth. I opened up my burger, I spit it out and I opened up everything. I had a screw in the burger. I was like 9-10 years old. But I mean, lucky for them, I was an adult. I mean, I think that probably would have been a lawsuit right there. I mean, big time. Yeah, big time. Like, I don't even know how you get a screw in your burger. Like,
how do you miss that out?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that had to be with intent, I believe.
Yeah.
'Cause there's no way you get a whole screw in your burger.
And fold it up, put everything else.
Yeah.
And, do all that.
Yeah, it was, man.
Well, he must have been like high, drunk, or something.
Yeah, something, man. But
must have been not there or something like that. But
after that, I stopped going to McDonald's. Well, obviously my parents didn't want to go to McDonald's no more either. After seeing that I got a screw in my burger.
I know, right?
But yeah, and then I don't know. Then they also changed their fries. I don't know. I heard a lot of people over the years complain. I guess their recipe changed or something.
I don't remember the way they used to be. I just remember the way they are now.
Okay.
I actually like them now.
You still like them? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know how they were before. I don't know if they were thicker or if they were anything like that. I don't know. I don't remember.
I think my favorite fries. It's a tie. Yeah. I like no. Don't get me started on it now. I'm a Whataburger guy.
Whataburger?
Yeah, I love Whataburger.
I didn't even heard of that.
You never heard of it?
No.
It's huge out in Texas,
Oh,
Oklahoma,
okay.
all that area.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my parents they're from they live in Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
So I go out there a lot. And first thing I do is Whataburger. Like when people come here to California, hey, let's go to In-N-Out. For me, when I go to Texas, let's go to Whataburger.
Yeah. Same thing with people like in the like New York or the East Coast. They have Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Yeah.
I know they opened Shake Shack here in Glendale. I wasn't a fan of it though.
Yeah, me either. There's one in Glendale. There's one in West Hollywood, and I think there's one in Long Beach. I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean.
Yeah, I wonder if it's different in the East Coast. Like I wonder if it tastes better, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah.
In-N-Out, I'm not disgusted by it. Like I can eat it, but it's just I don't know, just another burger to me.
I mean, for me, I think it's really good. I mean, one of my coworkers, she's from Florida.
Yeah.
She moved over here and she was like, yeah, I went to In-N-Out, not that great, just like any other burger. And I was like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And
Carl's Jr. even has a burger it tastes really similar to it. It's called like the Big Carl or something like that.
Yeah.
But it tastes pretty similar to.
I actually like the Big Carl. Now you mentioned that.
Yeah, it tastes pretty similar to the In-N-Out.
Does it?
Huh. And I think it's the sauce, what is it, the Thousand Island sauce that they use. I think that's what makes it. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. They claim fresh ingredients. I'm not sure.
See, I'm not here to just bash on In-N-Out, but there is one item that I do like is their animal style fries. That's just great.
If you eat them like right when they come out,
yeah.
If you wait 5 minutes,
then
it's like plastic on fries.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember one time I got it to go and I was like, I'll just heat them up in the microwave. It was not the same, man. Like you said, you had to eat them right there at the moment.
You gotta eat it right there.
But they are delicious. But
yeah, I mean it's pretty good. I mean, like I said, I think it's a sauce.
Yeah.
The Thousand Island sauce.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but if it's not that, then I don't know. It's just like a McDonald's burger.
I'm gonna give a little shout out to a burger spot that I really love. Yeah. There's a couple of them. So it might be a franchise. I don't know. It's called Doubles.
Doubles.
Yeah, ends with a Z. And they have the best burgers right now. They're celebrating, I think, their 25-year anniversary.
Nice. Where at?
Where's that?
Where at?
It's on the one that I know is on Whittier Boulevard, here in Montebello.
Montebello.
Yeah, in Montebello, and they got that special right now where it's I think a double cheeseburger, buy one get one free.
Yeah.
But for me, their best item is their chili cheese fries.
Really?
Yeah. They're so loaded. They're huge, and there's just so much cheese and yeah, man.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds
And
good.
I'm
Wait,
not-
is it better than the Tommy's fries, the chili cheese fries? Dang.
Ah man, I don't know. I might be biased because, like I said, I grew up in Silver Lake, so
Oh, okay.
Tommy's on Rampart, the original Tommy's.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, you're getting me right in the heart, man. Yeah, that's the original. Yeah, I think for sure it's probably better than Tommy's, but
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be biased,
Tommy's.
Tommy's has my heart just because I grew up with that.
Oh, jeez.
Ah man, I haven't been to Tommy's in such a while.
Well, I mean,
It's
you gotta drive over,
it's
man.
a heart attack to go.
Worth it though.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
There's this other spot that I like, and like my friends will be like, "Oh God, David, why are you even mentioning this?" But my wife and I have been going to that spot for a while. It's called Happy Tom's, and it's on.
That sounds familiar.
It's on Sunset in like Lemoyne or something like that. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
it's
yeah,
right
yeah.
there in Echo Park.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
I know what you're
Happy
talking
Tom's.
about. Yeah, I like the burgers.
Their burgers they always, man.
Yeah.
Always good, and the fries to me, like if you sit in there and you eat, if you do that dine in, then I think that's the best like experience. I mean, it's not the best burger, but their burgers for what you get for the amount of money for the amount of money,
Yeah.
I think it's well worth it.
Right.
Well worth it.
Who's your what would I say your luxury burger spot?
Oh,
Is there-
luxury burger spot? Oh, geez, I don't know. I mean, I've gone to, I don't know, Mohawk Bend right there, even in, it's kind of like Silver Lake, Echo Park area.
Oh, okay. No, I never heard of it.
They had this really good burger there. It came with like blue cheese. I don't know what it was, but it was just like, I just remember it being like, dang it. I think it was so good. And, but it was like, I don't know, I think the whole thing maybe was like $25-$30, which is not a lot, but for me, it was like, I guess that's why like expensive or luxury burger.
Yeah.
I had, so.
No, I'm on the same with you, man. Cause, hey, my regular burgers is the specials, man. The chicken box, $5 meal, everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So anything above $10, that's luxury.
Yeah. I'm sure later on, once I my whole career starts like picking up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to shell out like $100-$200 for a burger.
Yeah.
Eventually,
you're gonna have those Kobe beef burgers, man.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like I remember one time I was being what was like 2009 or something like that. At LA Live, there was this spot in the corner. It wasn't a burger spot. It was like a steakhouse or something like that. I think it was called Laurie's or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's something like that. I forgot what it was called, but some guy, him and his wife, they were kind of like mentoring me at that time, telling me like, oh, what are you gonna do after school and stuff? And they're like, he was a doctor, she was like a lawyer or something like that, so they had money. They're like, David, we want to treat you. Where do you want to go? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm poor. Grew up in South LA. I don't even know what rich is, right?
Right.
And they're like, oh, there's this steakhouse that we like, so they took me there. And like it was like this like half-pound like steak or T-bone or whatever it was with like some little bit of like mashed potatoes and a little bit of mac and cheese and my little thing of soda, and it was like almost $100.
Yeah. And
I was like, what? What? $100 is almost $100 for this? And the guy was like, yeah, don't worry about it, Dave. We just want to hang out with you, you know.
You're like, I'll get a whole shopping cart for $100.
Yeah, I was like, in that case, can I get a round two? But like, I mean, that was like one of the only times that I had something as expensive as that. That was kind of well worth it.
Right.
You know, because I remember I wanted to take my wife, and at that time we were dating for Valentine's Day. I wanted to take her out to like something expensive, so I saved up money and stuff like that. And I took her to the spot right there in downtown. It was man, it's literally right next to the Central Library in downtown. There's like this little spot right there. And for Valentine's Day, we went. Not worth it. I think we spent like maybe $300
Yeah.
or $350 for the both of us. And we walked out of there with like customer service was whack. Food was mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Very expensive. We were like,
Yeah,
no,
man. Yeah,
dude,
man.
no way.
That's the worst when you shell out like, what when you splurge and you're like, man, I could have gotten a lot more or a better experience for a lot less.
I know, right? Yeah.
And that kills you, man. That kills you.
That really, I'm like, I saved up for this. What made it worse is like, I saved up thinking like it was gonna cost this much.
Yeah.
And they ended up being short by like $50.
Oh man.
And I was like, credit card. But I was like, damn, dude, like, that was just not a really good experience. And I'm over here thinking like, man, I could have gone to Happy Thomas for like the whole year, or 6 months.
Yeah.
And I would have covered that. I would have had the time of my life. It would have been great.
Yeah.
But no, I had to do this.
Man, yeah, that's just such a bad experience. And then it's like you said, you went Valentine's Day, so it's just such a bad time to go to because the restaurant's packed. They're trying to get food out quick, reset tables, whatnot. So
yeah, and then they see these 2 Hispanic kids. They're thinking they're gonna probably dine and dash. They're probably just gonna dance. And I'm over there like, no, I'm paying cash and whatever is left, I guess on the credit card.
Hey, man, I wonder how often that does happen. That dine and dash. Like, I'm assuming that has to be taken into consideration for the restaurants. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like, going back to what you said, yeah, I don't know if we grew up broke. It was like maybe it was like, see, mom, my dad, and then we're 4 brothers. We used to be like in a 2-bedroom apartment, so
okay.
So it's tight.
Yeah, that's pretty
Tight headquarters. compared to now, oh man, we're living the life.
I know.
Yeah. Now I have an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment, and it's just me and my wife. I was like, huh. We have all these rooms.
What do we do with
that? I wish I had that when I was younger.
Yeah, I know. Studio.
But yeah, man. Like we were saying, we grew up broke or middle class, whatever you want to call it, or lower middle class. And I remember when I got a job in Beverly Hills. This restaurant's called AOC. Mm-hmm. And actually, they're the best. The chef, she name's Suzanne Goen. She won the James Beard Award for best chef in the country. So that's no small feat.
I know, right?
Yeah, thank you. You're the number 1 chef in the country.
Yeah. That says something.
Yeah. And then her business partner, Caroline Stein, they got what's it called, also the James Beard Award the following year for I think best. I always have a tough time pronouncing the word restaurateur or something.
I don't know.
But almost like best restaurant.
Yeah.
And so when growing up, always eating at home, never really going out. And then going to work in a restaurant in Beverly Hills, it was just like, hey, this is a whole life I've never been a part of. Mm-hmm. This is gonna sound crazy, like to a lot of people. To a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's just regular. Yeah. But growing up in the Mexican household, all we ate is that ball of lettuce. Is it iceberg lettuce?
Oh yeah, iceberg lettuce.
And when I went over there, to work over there, they used romaine lettuce. I was like, what is this?
Luxury.
Luxury. No, it's just. Then I looked at the stores. No, it's just romaine lettuce. It's regular. But like I said, you're in this bubble.
Yep.
When you're growing up, and iceberg lettuce is all I knew. I did not know there's different types of stuff, different type of lettuces. I'm like, oh, romaine lettuce. That's luxury. No, it's common. It's common. But when you don't grow up like that,
I know.
It's very different.
Yeah, definitely very different.
Yeah, man, like
iceberg lettuce. Okay, Moss, what's it? You got a ball.
Yeah, you got.
Here's your ball.
It's Here, we're gonna play basketball with this, and then we're gonna make some sandwiches after. Yeah, man, it's crazy, but I really appreciate the opportunity those ladies gave me and everybody, the crew, the staff. I know they shut down for like the 3 months during the pandemic, like as everybody did.
Yeah.
And they recently opened up, but like with reduced
Reduced hours.
yeah, reduced capacity for staff. Yeah. And I'm really pulling for them. I hope they do really good, because it was such a great place. And I have a lot of memories there, man.
That's good.
I learned a lot. And then I love, like I said, going back to make the most out of your opportunities. I wish, I would have picked the bosses. I wish I would have picked their brain more.
Yeah.
But luckily I was able to connect with some of the customers. One of the customers, his name is Marco. He's older gentleman. I would consider him to be my mentor.
Nice.
Yeah, he would go every week, and sometimes he'd go by himself. Sometimes he would go with his wife Jackie, and they're just such a great couple. So they taught me so much, and I remember because I had this project that I'm doing. As I think I mentioned to you before, how to create wealth, how to get wealth moved to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this book that I'm working on.
Nice.
But it's a long project. It's at least 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're familiar with Napoleon Hill.
No.
He wrote this book called Think and Grow Rich, which is something similar that I'm trying to aspire. Mm-hmm. But obviously modern take, because Napoleon Hill, that book was written I believe it was released 1930. No, it was either 32, 29, something around there.
Oh,
but point is, it's
so
nearly 100 years old, that book. So
nearly a century.
Yeah, he was his mentor was Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie.
Oh, okay.
And at the time he was the richest man in the world. And so I want to emulate him, get that
mindset.
But today the equivalent of Carnegie, I guess, would be Jeff Bezos.
I know, right?
Yeah, so working on that book, and
that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, it's a big project, a big goal I set on myself, and I'm gonna complete it.
That's good.
But it's
baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You get there.
That book just changed my mind, and I recommend that to anybody. Mm-hmm. I would say that's the first step. Read that book. That will change your mind. Like, my goodness, this is why I'm even doing this podcast, because of that book. Mm-hmm. It lights a fire under you. And he started from not being wealthy to becoming wealthy.
Yeah.
And you just learn that it's habits, the people you surround yourself with, things of that nature. And I want to do a modern take on that. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it, man. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah. Man. I know. I don't know. I remember mentioning to you, but Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Who's another guy, financial advisor.
Yeah.
And like my wife and I are trying to build our wealth too. But one of the things he suggests is to get out of debt first, because then you're gonna have so much money left over.
Right.
And so, he has all these, he calls them baby steps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we started last year, and we're slowly picking up a lot of traction on it, and it's just been such a game changer, because at least even last year, I wasn't even thinking about my school debt. She went to school, I went to school, so we have student loans and stuff. And I was just thinking I'm just gonna pay it off. Eventually, minimum payments. It'll get there one day, whatever, right? But then we're 50 years down the line. I don't want to just start building wealth when I'm 60. You know, why not in a couple of years?
Right.
Why not do it in 2-3 years? So
enjoy it while we're in our peak.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be making money, and we're not giving it to anyone else. We're not giving it to all these other companies who are who have us by the hook.
Yeah.
It's just money that we get, that we receive, and we start building on that. We start investing, blah blah blah, and all that. So it's been I think it's been a year already it's been a year, maybe a couple of months or something like that. But we're on that journey, and hopefully we'll be done by next year or the year after that or something.
No, yeah, and so, I love Dave Ramsey. I watch him, especially on YouTube. I watch his clips and things like that. He's really well.
Yeah, it's just motivating because like you hear people who've like been on the same road, who have like kids, who have like $300,000 in debt, and who are making like $50,000 a year or something like that. But they did it, and I'm like, man, that fills me with hope because I'm like, okay, my wife and I were not in exactly the same situation, so if they can do it in 5 years, I'm sure we can do it like in 2 years or whatever it is, right? And so we've just been like, let's just push, picking up hours, doing this, doing side hustles, so, whatever, dude.
Yeah. You just gotta set big goals, and when you set those big goals, you will. The thing I learned from the guy I follow, his name is Dan Pena, and he always says, set big goals because you're never gonna achieve your goals. So he said, just reach, reach for the stars, go all out.
Yeah, go all out. And just start making your way.
Yeah. Like I think he set a goal for himself is like, I want to have $2 billion, and then, he never reached those $2 billion, and a lot of people are like, man, they'll kick themselves over, like, man, I never reached that goal, but he was trying to reach those $2 billion, but he said himself, like, you're never gonna reach those goals. So he just ended up getting to $500 million, which is not bad.
$500 million.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure more now, but yeah, that and those are habits people, people who are upper level, they set these crazy goals for themselves. Just like the creator of iPod, what's his name? Steve Jobs. When you hear the stories of like how he was pushing his team or making teams work against each other and be like, hey, you're gonna get fired whoever loses this, and those are big goals. You gotta, but when you set something big, you're gonna achieve something big.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
even Bill Gates.
Yeah.
He invented the Windows computer. Mac. Windows.
Yeah, Windows, right?
Yeah, Windows. He was like just doing this out of a garage, and then all of a sudden it just blew up.
Yeah.
It just went. And I just see that a lot. Like you start off really small, and like people will be like, man, we're just starting, blah blah blah, right? It's not that great. Okay, who cares? But you're not focused on just the now. You're focused on the end goal. 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years from now. You're seeing like, you know what? I'm gonna invest a lot of my time into this, and I'm just gonna keep putting it in, push, and evenally it's just gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, that's how this podcast was. Like I told you, I got this setup a month ago. I've been working on this 1 month, and I couldn't get it going. And I had 3 people come in, and I could have just easily been like, you know what, this is not working out. The issue we thought we had with electricity.
Yeah.
I was like, man, maybe I just thought maybe I don't have the setup for it. Maybe this is not gonna work out. But we pushed through and we got it to work.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. You gotta push through because if you quit, if I would have quit at that moment, just be like, you know what, I'm gonna just return all my setup and just get my money back.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here having this conversation, sitting down. And
it always starts small. It always like right now it's just a basic setup.
Right.
But we're gonna eventually just go.
Yeah.
It's just gonna keep going, and next thing you know, you're gonna be like, what's his name, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Have a whole setup, have a whole crew there.
Yeah.
And it's gonna look like
Yeah, and
professional.
And like I was expressing to you, like, even if the quality or had that buzzing, that hum sound, I was like, man, I just want to start, like. Even if it's not perfect, but we'll get there. I just want to start, and we did that, and luckily we got it to work.
Yeah, definitely, we got it to work.
Yeah, no.
But that's just how it is, man. That's how life is. That's just the way it works. A lot of when I was being mentored by what's his name, Donnie Baker, he told me the same thing. It's just you don't start like people say, like you gotta start at a big job. Right after college, you go into a big job, and then there it is. He was like, nah, dude, that wasn't my experience. He's like, I went through a lot of like loops, hills and valleys, until I eventually came to what I like to do now.
Yeah.
And like, man, I was just because growing up, my parents they're always like, go to school, go to college, find that job that you want, and you're set for life.
Right.
Right. And I tried doing that, and I failed miserably, man. I failed big time. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is right for me. I don't know if doing this is right for me. And I started getting connections. Like, oh yeah, I do, audio engineering, I do this, here's my Instagram, here's this, I've been doing things over here, blah, blah, blah. Interning wherever, getting experience wherever, dude.
Yeah.
Just the more experience, boom, come on, okay, I'll do it for free. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Right. I just want the experience. And then slowly it just starts to evolve into something else. So it always that's how it's always like that. And that's the way my brother was when he was doing real estate. Started off really small, just getting, pieces of, like breadcrumbs, okay, here's this, here's that, here's a lead, go and find it. And then next thing you know, he starts building up connections, networking.
Right.
And all of a sudden you start having a pool and you start saying, hey, I had this huge project, would you like to invest?
Right.
And because you already have a track record of being, being committed, always proving your word and stuff like that, returning the money or whatever it is.
Right.
You already have that pipeline.
Yeah.
And people are gonna be like, okay, I can trust this guy. He's gonna deliver.
Yeah.
And then next, you're set.
Yeah.
Then you can retire and do whatever the hell you want.
Right. Yeah, but it's that's that important part. You gotta start. Just start. Even if it's bad, if you're failing, and I forgot who. It might have been Napoleon Hill, but it was this quote, like, I'm butchering it, but it was even if you're doing lots of, if you're failing, that's okay, because that means you're taking action, and and that's something that really sticks with me. It's like, you're just taking action, because if you're not failing, you're not doing anything.
Right.
So you gotta keep going.
You gotta keep going, man.
Eventually, you're gonna figure it out. Eventually, you just gotta keep pushing through.
And that's how it works. I mean, honestly, that's just how it works. I mean,
and it doesn't apply just to financially, by the way. Just letting everybody know, it applies every aspect of life. Even just getting a girlfriend. I can tell you, for my wife, I'm gonna sound like a stalker, but I probably asked my wife out like 5 times. She said 4 times no. I could have easily gave up the first, second, third time, 4th time, but eventually got it on the 5th time, and now she's my wife.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, that's just how it works. I mean, I didn't have that experience with my wife. Probably, I mean, it's just for me, it was just like making her laugh. When I make her laugh, then I'm already a step ahead. I'm already like, okay, I gotta make her laugh again. It's gotta be better this time. Yeah. Then I gotta keep going. Then keep going. Next thing you know, 2 years down the line, out of the friend zone and into.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. Yeah, my wife, I don't know. She said she thought I was a player. I was like, I'm not a player, man. Like, that's not me.
I'm not a player. I'm a player, like, I play games, but not like her.
Yeah, she just had this perception of me, and I was like, well, we could have just asked me. I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing you changed your mind.
Yeah. Good thing I was able to convince her. Unfortunately for her, nah.
Sucker.
Yeah, I got you. But man,
we're just kidding about it.
Yeah, we're kidding. But yeah, that's, like I said, that's life. You gotta keep push through. Start and push. And whatever you set your mind to, you more than likely will get it.
Yeah, you just gotta keep going, man. The hardest step is always the first step. Yeah. It's always the first step. You're always scared. You're always nervous. You're always overthinking it, like, man, so and so is doing it much better than I am, or like I'm not equipped to do it, whatever, But you just gotta go for it. Yeah. You just gotta do it, man.
Oh man. Yeah, it's been a great ride, everything, and like, wish it could be better spot right now, but you know what? I wouldn't change it for a thing, because I love having all this experience and now being enlightened, knowing where I'm going. So that's the important part.
Yep.
Yeah. Eventually we're all gonna get there, and I hope, like I said, during this quarantine, I hope other people have been doing something similar, having this time to reflect on themselves and be like, hey, nobody's gonna take care of you. Only yourself. That's the only way you're gonna get out.
Not even the government.
Not even the government, man.
Not even Joe Biden.
Yeah. Oh man. My goodness, he brought that up.
Kind of words.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen in this election.
I don't know either. I don't think I'm gonna vote.
Yeah, I really don't know.
It doesn't look appealing to me.
Yeah, at all.
That's right, because I'm actually I'm registered as independent.
Okay.
But like, no one seems okay. I'm like, either they're way too on the left side or way too much on the right.
Yeah, there's no more middle ground. Everything's just so binary, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Either or, and it's like no one can get a consensus of like, hey man, let's just figure this thing out together.
Right.
It's just like, no, we have to do it the left side. We have to do it the right side.
Yeah, like for me, like maybe not anymore, but you know, growing up my whole life, I would consider myself a Republican, but not because of like the conservative values. It was more like business, because you know I feel the country tends to, I may be wrong, but from my experiences, from you know what our family has dealt with, or the blessings we have, whatever. Yeah, when Republicans are in office, we tend to do better. We tend to do economically wise, and yeah. So I guess before I would say, I'm a liberal Republican, because you know, as far as the social issues, like you know, Republicans are behind, man. They're really behind.
They're dragging their feet, dude.
Yeah. And I was like, oof. So you know, that's another thing. You know, you say you're Republican, and like, there's this whole thing they judge you by, like, oh, what you're anti-LGBT, anti whatever you want, man.
Anti-everything.
Anti-everything, and it's like, nah, man. Like, I support, like, you know, I support equal rights for everybody. You know, for the gays, lesbians, whatever. Like, I believe, you know, they should have equal opportunity. Yeah. And yeah, man. And then the president I kind of like was what's his name? Bill Clinton. He was Democrat, but I mean, you could say he was a conservative.
Yeah,
I would think.
Man.
Yeah, it was really cool.
He was cool.
I mean, maybe not anymore after all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff. He's not cool anymore, right?
I know.
Ah, God. There's always something.
I did not have sex with that woman.
Yeah. Hey, I remember that on was it LimeWire? I don't know if you ever used LimeWire.
LimeWire.
When you were downloading a song. Hey man, that thing gave AIDS to your computer, man.
Oh, dude.
That was so.
NASDAQ, or what was it, Napster, or whatever it's called.
Napster. I never used Napster. When I started using, I started getting a LimeWire, and then, like I said, that would just give you so many viruses. But I would use my brother's computer, so.
Well, that's only because I used my friend's computer.
There you
So I was like, LimeWire? He's like, yeah, whatever. And he didn't know it, and I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, my brother would ask me too. He's like, hey, does that have viruses? I was like, I don't think so, man. We're good. Like,
we're good.
Just downloading music. But, yeah, man, it's crazy. Just thinking everything, like, millennials, or especially our age, like, we just went through such a huge technology change in our time.
A jump.
Yeah, that jump. Like, we started with what? You said we had the Nintendo.
Yeah, we had the Nintendo.
VCRs.
We had VCRs. We still had the.
I had the Walkman, man. I still had that.
Yeah. We had the pagers.
Pagers,
yes. That were like rounded in the back.
Yeah.
The computers too that were round. What else?
I even had that television with the knob.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever it is. Put it on 3.
Yeah.
Pick up your Nintendo or your PlayStation and go to town.
Yeah, man. Man, it's crazy. Like, I remember when the DVD came out, or I think it was like when my parents got it back then in 90, must have been, I don't know, 96, 97. Something like that. But when DVDs were like the thing, barely coming out, my parents got this DVD player and it was like $1,000. And now it's $29, I think, at Walmart.
Can you imagine? It's just like, woo!
Yeah,
it's so weird.
The stereo systems, you know, those big giant stereo systems, and now you just have those little was it Bose speaker?
Bose, or you get
what do you call it?
the Bose like wireless sound bar.
Yeah. Now it's just this little sound bar.
Yeah, those are just like basic. I remember I went to this company and they had this whole setup, and I asked the guy, I was like, people are still buying this?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, he's like, it's kind of different. He's like, you can have the little thing, the little sound bar, but if you want a home theater system, you get these, and then there's a special wall that you gotta purchase where the speakers go behind it, and the sound penetrates through that wall, and it gives you this like surreal thing. And he's like, you
so
won't
is it like a
find
padding or what is it?
It's like, no, they literally cut a hole in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
They put the speakers in there. They wire everything in the back, and there's like this kind of transparent wall or something like that. And then the sound penetrates through there.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. He's like, yeah, we have them on the wall here, and then we have them on the ceiling, and then we have them like, yeah. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I was like, oh, so how much is this? He's like, oh, it's like about 250,000. I was like,
what?
Okay, this is why it's not for your average Joe. This is not for your average.
250,000 for speakers.
Yeah, the wholesale, the installation, the whole
That's
thing.
crazy.
So.
And that was for someone's home or like for.
That's for someone's home.
So they just say 250 black.
Yep. If you want that whole thing, man.
In Texas, that's 2 houses right there.
Right. Not here.
Not here. Yeah, not here. Can't even find nothing. Is there anywhere here we could get 250,000?
Somewhere like in the countryside. Like if you go
like
close
San
to like
Bernardino,
Vegas or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but like a condominium.
Yeah.
Something like that. A 1-bedroom, 1 house kind of thing.
Hey man, the housing here is ridiculous.
Right.
I think my oldest brother, he bought his home in, I want to say 2001, for like 125,000 in Downey.
Yeah.
And he sold right before the economy collapsed, and it was 2008.
Yeah.
He sold it for like 600,000. and he did it perfect timing, man. Sold it for like 600, and I think he got another home for like 300,000. Yeah.
I don't know.
He did it right.
What's his name? I think Dave Ramsey even said it. I think even Warren Buffett too was like the best time to buy is when the economy is down.
Yeah.
Because that way, when it goes back up, I mean, you're just increasing the value of the house or your stocks or whatever it is. Your real estate portfolio just increases because you bought everything cheap.
Yeah.
And then when it starts going up, people are gonna start buying. And once you do the flip, you probably do like 2 times the amount it was worth.
Right.
So,
and then
something like that. I don't know.
but this whole financial climate, it's crazy because like the stock market is not telling you what's really going on. And
it's not bouncing back, right? It's still in the lows.
What the stock market?
Yeah.
No, right now they're breaking records.
Of being down?
No, highs.
Oh, being high?
Yeah, and like we have 40 million people in unemployment, and they're breaking records. It's like, what's going on here?
And there's something sketchy going on.
It's disconnected.
Something's going on.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Who knows? Probably by the end of the year, we're gonna see like they're gonna be like, what is it? Like another housing crash or something like that.
Yeah.
Another financial crisis.
I honestly think that's like when I asked you earlier if you're optimistic. I'm pessimistic. I think we're gonna be in a depression. Yeah. Not even a recession, a depression.
It's gonna skip the recession. It's just gonna go straight to the depression.
Yeah, straight. Not even the Great Depression. What we learned in what was it, middle school, high school, the Great Depression? Nah, man, we're living the greatest depression. It's crazy. Everything we're living through right now, they're gonna be talking about, I don't know, 30, 40 years from now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be the history now. Which is
I know. We're just gonna be, and our kids are gonna be asking, or their kids are gonna be asking, like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
Making a podcast.
Yeah.
Trying to tell people like if you're not working or getting a new skill.
They're gonna be like, what's a podcast? We just connect Neuralink or something. Telepathically. My goodness.
Which I think is probably in our the way this whole thing is just so like strange. Like, I mean, it's just a matter of time. And I was talking to my dad the other day about like stuff like this because we were talking about like how we're like Elon Musk he wants to make plans of going to Mars. Like, oh, well, actually, he's already making plans, right? And then recently they just discovered was it the fifth new state of or the new state of element or matter, the fifth state.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Because you know there's liquid, gaseous, solid, plasma, and then now there's the what is it? Something Einstein condensate, something like that. And I don't even know what it was. I briefly read about it, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then now the whole thing with Mars, this thing with SpaceX, the automation, everything is just going upwards to a different.
Yeah, it's growing exponentially.
Different reality.
Yeah.
Because it's just weird, man. It's a cool weird because I'm pretty sure soon a lot of things are gonna be automated. Like the cars most likely gonna be automated by then. At least by the time our kids are born, that they're gonna have like that whole automation thing down. We're probably gonna be already going to Mars already. And like just even getting to our nearest star, was it Proxima Centauri, is like 20 years at the speed of light or something like that, right? Or something, I don't know what it is. And like right now, it would take us like, I don't know, maybe hundreds of years or thousands of years. If it was just going out, with rockets, it would take us like thousands of years, some crazy number like that. And I'm sure with the way things are going, we're gonna get there. We're probably gonna get there. Maybe hopefully in the next half a century.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah.
To see the way things.
Yeah. And then also, I think didn't Google just make that quantum computer or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of it going from 0 to 1, it's now doing like 1.
I don't even
0, 1,
know
2,
the craziest
like
numbers. Like.
Yeah. Because I think right now everything is 0, 1, 0, 1. So there's only I think 2 ways of the information can be split. I think. And with now with the quantum part, I think it breaks into 3 ways. I think it's 3 or 4 ways. Something like that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it is just the computer can give out more solutions faster.
Right.
Or get to the solution a whole lot quicker. So it's something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
it is.
So.
And then we're probably gonna have artificial intelligence coming pretty soon.
Hopefully.
I don't know. I seen a couple of videos like there's this one I forgot who it was. Well, I just Googled it or YouTubed it. It was Sophia. I don't know if you heard of Sophia.
No, Sophia, no.
Oh, it's like a AI, and I don't know if they mess with it. They, someone programmed with it because it's man-made, so someone can put a code of
a virus or something.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just very pessimistic. Wanted to take over the world.
Jeez, man.
You see the video and it tells you like, oh yeah, like it's gonna take over the world. It's like, man, like, and then going into the subject, like, it has me thinking like, if when artificial intelligence does come, like, I don't think I've seen a Hollywood movie where artificial intelligence is good.
I know, right?
So it got me thinking. I was like, when artificial intelligence does come, and it starts like reviewing human nature, what we watch as movies.
Yeah.
Is it eventually gonna be like, humans think I'm an enemy, so like, so I gotta take care of these humans. Like, I gotta get rid of them before they get rid of me.
Yep.
Cause I don't know, man. Terminator, iRobot, all these movies, man.
The Matrix. I don't know. In the Matrix, I don't know if you ever saw those, but there's a prequel to the Matrix called the Animatrix or something like that.
I think I heard of them, but I never watched them.
Yeah, there's like these little short stories, right?
Yeah.
In there, but one of them talks about how that whole Matrix environment came to be.
Yeah.
And it tells a story that like robots were actually helping humans, but it was the humans that were like that looked down upon them, like they were just like slaves and stuff.
Right.
And the robots just wanted to become equal as everyone else.
Yeah.
Wanted to have rights and stuff like that. And the humans were like, nah, so they ended up killing all of them, or like a bunch of them, and then somehow they came back to life. And I don't know, that's what gets weird, but the point of it is that like there was like a time where it was kind of like peaceful.
Yeah.
They were actually doing the work that we were doing, but the only jobs I think that we could be doing is just robotics.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be doing all the labor, all the mechanical, all the farming and stuff like that. They're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, who's gonna? If you have a robot that can do it, 10 times faster than you, why would you go ahead and do it?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. But
I just wonder like if humans will adapt to this like next step, because I mean I'm pretty sure that's what people must have thought 100 years ago when they had the cotton gin. Like, hey man, this is gonna start taking away jobs. It did take away jobs, but there's other jobs created as well.
Yeah.
So I wonder if with automation, if that's gonna be the same case, or we're just gonna have this massive, unemployment.
Yep.
Like, it's, I don't know, crazy to think, because I don't know what's the next step, where we're going, and they always seem to somehow blow our mind.
Right? Yeah. There's always something new coming up. I actually like that, because it just means that we're making progress.
Yeah.
We're not stuck in like A, B, and C. And I always thought about that. I was like, how can we be born at a time like this? Because if you look at, ages ago, like people were like, in the dark ages, or like in the Bronze Age, or like whatever those ages were, right? I forgot. Like they were still doing, like hunter and gatherer scenarios,
Right.
And then they were still doing, I don't know, just kind of like basic human stuff. They have houses. People were farmers. People were theologians or astronomers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so at that time, that was like the biggest thing that you can do. But I'm always thinking like, dude, this last like maybe 2 centuries, it just went bam.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Because it took us a long time to get here, and how all of a sudden, just like that, we had an eye opener.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Like it took us all this time just to reach right now. Like if we had this capacity before to build stuff and had this kind of ingenuity, why couldn't we do this before?
Oh, well, I wonder if there's like this wave, because when you think about it, it's like the pyramids of Egypt. It's crazy, like how they constructed that. And then I think there was even like, they're outdated by our standards, but they even had their own form of batteries. Like they're discovering things that were batteries for them. So they were able to, conduct electricity, which is the crazy part. This is maybe 10,000 years ago, I don't know.
Yeah.
When were the pyramids built? And then like, I don't know, man, it's so weird that you have pyramids in Egypt, and then all the way over here in the Americas, you have the pyramids in Mexico City.
Oh, yeah.
And
with
the Aztecs, the Mayans.
Right.
And it's just weird that both of them would have the same concept. So I always wonder, is like, did we get to this point where, maybe they were even able to travel? Maybe not by plane, but like some other form, I don't know, boat. Just people think we weren't able to travel. That's the consensus. We split off, right? The Pangea. You had the Native Americans over here, Africans, Europeans, everything.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird how you're 2 different cultures were able to pretty much come up with the same concept of, let's make a pyramid and have that pyramid align with the stars. That's crazy.
The Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't even know how, like those guys, man. The pyramids. I don't even know how they did it. The mathematics that went into doing something like that.
Yeah.
That's to calculate the right ratio, to pick it up, however they had to do, to pick it up, to roll it, the ingenuity that came with that, I'm sure it was like supreme at their time.
Right.
And I'm just thinking like they could just apply that to so many stuff, but it just took us a long. I feel like it just took us a long time just to get where we're at now.
Yeah.
We've been on here. Supposedly, according to scientists, we've been here for like, what is it, hundreds of thousands or even millions of years, right?
Right.
But it took us this long?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, we had to gradually go from Neanderthals into hunter-gatherers or whatever it is into doing all this?
Yeah.
And until the last 100 years, we really went for it.
Put the pedal to the metal, man.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, isn't that? It just strikes me as odd. Like,
No, definitely. Like,
it's just odd that.
yeah. Have you gone to any of the pyramids?
Nah,
No?
I haven't
Oh,
been
man.
to. I haven't been to any of those.
I went to two different ones. I went to the ones in Mexico City, which was I think Teotihuacan, I think it was called, and then also went to the ones in Chiapas.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, when you're there and you see like all the symmetry, it blows your mind. It's like, how are they able to do this, man? Like how? And even there's some things that like today we're not even able to replicate.
Yeah.
And it's just weird how they must have had technology. Like I said, we went through a dip in at one point, and I don't know if it's gonna happen again.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just crazy.
I mean, people always talk about conspiracy theories about like aliens,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I don't even know if I believe it or not. I'm kind of in the brink with it, but it's just it always strikes me as just like crazy. Like I mean, the Mayans, they were sophisticated enough to have their own calendar.
Yeah.
They were looking up at the stars in their own like what is it, calligraphy, whatever they were using for for writing and stuff like that. They were reading, they were talking, they were like doing all this stuff, and it's just like really like it just took us. I'm just so like like really guys, like we could have been like so much ahead. Like how and why?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because of like like religion, because religion, what is it called? They had a bunch of those massacres. It wasn't just the Christians; it was also like the Muslims. It was a bunch of other. Everyone was like, "Oh, you don't believe me? You don't believe my religion? Dead."
Right.
So I'm wondering if that was because I don't know. It just strikes me as odd. It's just like it's so weird. Like
Yeah.
it took us a long time to get here.
Yeah, man. It's like you said, it's just surreal to believe certain stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Even the Aztecs, it's like when you think about it, like how did they get conquered? Like you see everything that they had, their pyramids. They created the first I think it was the first sewer system, if I'm not mistaken. The Aztecs, I think I read that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And I mean, I understand, you have guns introduced, but still, I mean, they had their arrows or whatever, and the guns back then, they're not the guns that we have today. It was the muskets, and you gotta
put the
pack
powder
them.
in. You gotta
Those
put the bullet in.
while you're pouring, they're shooting their arrows, so
Yeah. Or they're coming at you with swords.
yeah, or with
right?
swords, something, but
A freaking knife, and they'll kill you.
yeah, and it's crazy. It's like what exactly happened, like. And history is just so biased. Like it's told from one, and maybe not even just biased, but me and you, we could be watching one thing, and we'll both come with two different ideas.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part about human nature. Like we're both seeing the exact same thing, but we have two complete different ideas about what we're seeing.
Yeah. Like, I believe because it's this. I believe because it's that.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, dude,
It's wild.
It is wild. I mean, did you see that Netflix special on that guy about the UFOs?
No.
I forgot what his name was, but he predicted all this stuff, and I think a couple of them came true.
Nostradamus.
I don't know what it was. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I totally forgot. I remember he said that there was this device that scans your hand or something like that, or scans your body, but it picks up the width or something like that.
Are you talking about Bob?
Oh yeah,
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar. There you go.
Yeah. Bob Lazar.
Yeah, and then so you know about like that whole machine, right? He was like, oh yeah, this is what we had, and then years later, government was like, oh yeah, that's what we had, and then recently, I don't know if you knew about this, but the Navy's published this thing that was like, oh, we've encountered an unidentified flying object, not necessarily saying aliens, just an object that was unidentified, doing all this weird.
And they dropped this at the perfect time when we're all distracted by Corona.
Yeah, and then like the government's like, oh yeah, this happened. Oh, we finally said that it's proof that
the UFO.
UFOs, not necessarily aliens, just
Right.
UFOs. And I'm like, come on, guys. There's something weird going on. There's something. Someone's not telling us something, and it's just. All I know is that all that to say is that I tend to go on the belief that like our technology may have come from somewhere else.
Right.
You know, because it couldn't just like there was jumps in our human history where it was just like exponential. You know, it was just like
Yeah.
all of a sudden we knew about the gun. Oh, someone figured that out. You know?
I mean, whoever invented the car, like, it's not just a car. It's like there's so many components. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The thousands of components you have to put together to make it.
Yeah, the creativity, the like, just that, like, did we really just one day just say, okay, I'm gonna make a car, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You know, and just start. Cause I mean, the mathematics that go into like making the cylinder head, the wall, to make sure that everything was pressurized accordingly. You know, you don't want a whole explosion to happen where you're freaking driving that, driving that thing. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like that just those jumps in history makes me think like there was some type of, I don't know, human interaction with something besides our own.
Yeah, you know, the one that blows my mind, like every couple of months it comes back and pops into my head randomly. It's phones, like, or the internet. Like, how am I sending you a video through this thing? No wires, nothing connected. I capture an image, and I send it to you like that. I don't know. I mean, I get the components of the camera, but still, like, I don't know, man. How does that travel through the air? Like that blows my mind.
It's the same thing with like radio signals.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's what those things use. They use radio signals. Because Tesla, the actual guy named Tesla, well, I think he was the first one to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. What was he? Yeah. AC.
Yeah.
Alternate current, right?
Alternating currency and direct current.
Yeah. And Edison was using DC.
Yeah. Edison was using.
Yeah. DC, which what we use now.
Yeah.
And he had what is wireless. Yeah. That Tesla had was wireless.
Yeah. So it was just weird. Like, I mean, like he had that in mind.
Yeah.
Which is why how we were able to communicate with, like, you know, back in like Apollo days, we were able to communicate with guys who got in trouble up there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how we were able to communicate with them. But it's just like, how did what? How did that even just like someone just happen?
Yeah.
Like it just clicked in the head. Like, oh, maybe I should figure out this whole like radio wave thing and just figure that out. I don't know. There's just something that was in human history. There's some kind of like
how we got to the moon. That's crazy, man.
I'm telling you, I don't know. This just, I don't know. It always like blows my mind. Like we came all this way in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Just like that. Sounds kind of fishy.
Yeah, it really is.
It's kind of fishy because, you know, thousands of years ago we weren't even like that. We were just hundreds of gatherers doing our thing, going to church or whatever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? The cars back then. How much horsepower did like the Model T have? Like 29 horsepower.
Not even, like maybe 5, 10.
Yeah, man, and now the cars that are today they're over 700. Or Bugatti has like 1,500 horsepower.
You're like, oh my God, come on.
Like, what? Man, I don't know. And it just keeps going. That's even 10 years ago, like, I don't know, most cars breaking the 200 horsepower mark. I was like, oh, you have a strong car. Now 200 horsepower, like that's a economical car, and it's like that saves you gas. It's like, what?
It's weird.
Yeah, you have all these supercars now.
Yeah. Which is why I don't think, like, you know, people keep saying, I keep hearing this, like, oh, we're never gonna be able to find a way to travel at the speed of light or get from here to over there. in a short amount of time. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. Everything's pointing that we're going in that direction.
Yeah.
Like, someone's gonna figure this thing out, or some kind of unidentified and flying object comes in, breaks down, lands here. Somehow we do reverse engineering, figure that thing out. Next thing you know, we're doing it.
All right.
It has to be one of those two, because I don't know. I don't know what else it could be. Like, I mean, divine inspiration. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And I think that's also like one of the conspiracies, right? Like, we had like an alien crash or something, or a UFO crash, I should say.
Yeah.
And that's how we got to this point. Like you said, we've grown exponentially in the last 100 years, and maybe they found the UFO ship, man. Like,
I know.
It's like we're just going here, and boom.
Yep.
Let's go.
Because it's weird though, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, there's something the government's not telling us.
Yeah,
or the higher ups of the higher ups.
Yeah.
Are not telling. There's something fishy.
There's some technology they're withholding.
I know. We probably do have the technology to have flying cars and all that. They're just holding back.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, it's probably for a good reason. I mean, so many crashes, driving regular now. Imagine people flying
all over the place.
Just people being drunk and oh hell no. Yeah, we can't have flying cars. It's too much power.
Or at least hover, like them to like kind of hover over the ground.
I don't know, man. It's just
that'd be kind of cool.
People are not responsible, man.
I know.
Sketchy.
I remember someone telling me that, or I think I looked this up online. That right now our current technology is a lot of push and pull, where like our rockets are pushing.
Okay.
You know, pushing us to get over there. Same thing with the cars and stuff like that. And like even with the horses, they're pulling like the sleighs or all that for like you know what I mean, like
the carriages.
The carriages and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're kind of pulling that stuff. So like. Someone was telling me that we're only limited to our dimension, which is, I think our max is 4.
Right.
So we're only limited to this. He was like, if we had a higher dimension, then we would encounter another way of dealing with our problems.
Yeah.
So he was saying that there's no way for us to get to that dimension, but if there was a being besides us that was in that dimension, they would have that capability.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, you got me there because I don't even know what that means, man. It's just crazy.
Just seeing where everything's going, you think eventually time travel will be possible?
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think that?
I don't think so because that's tricky, man. That's well, I don't know. What's his name? These astronauts, when they're going around the Earth, when they come back, they've tested. They're actually, I think, further into the future or behind, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going at so right now it's like, say it's like 8 p.m. I think for them they'll be coming in at 7:58 p.m.
Right.
So they're not that far behind. And it has something to do with like the atoms and the space, or I don't know, like that. In other words, you're kind of aging slower or something like that. So in other words, time travel could be possible, but I don't know to the extent of like going into the future in that sense, like 50 years from now, or going back 50 years or something like that. I don't know.
I remember, man, I wish I could remember the name of the show because it was such a great show.
Twilight Zone.
I wish it was. I can't remember, man. But it talked about how we see into the future, and it was crazy. But it's not like, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen here. No, it was like our eyes, our brain, it does see into the future, but it was like 1/1,000,000th of a second into the future. That's the reason we're able to, like, if you see something coming, you react.
Oh,
and
I see.
It was breaking that down. I just wish, because I watched that, maybe it was like 7 years ago, and I wish I would have wrote that down or somewhere, because that was a really great show, and like I wish I could explain that more to people. It was just, that concept blew my mind, but it made so much sense. I was like, that's why we're able to react like sometimes real quick, like.
Yeah.
not enough to sometimes to save your life, but just that enough to be like, all right.
Right. Well, you want to know something that'll blow you away is you know how so the speed of light is the maximum that we know of, right? The maximum speed of it's like whatever it is, 192. I don't forget what it was, but it blows me away because it takes about 8.5 minutes for light to reach from the sun to us, right? And it takes about 1,000 years or 100,000 years from light to escape the core of the sun out into its atmosphere and then into us. Okay. So it takes about like this whole. So technically, we're like not even living in the present. Technically, we're like living in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're looking at the past technically.
yeah, because the sun is coming at us 8.5 minutes later.
Right.
From
original.
From when it came out, but 1,000 or 100,000 years later from when it came out of the core.
That's crazy.
So so we're living in the past, but present for us because it's all relative. It's based on what we're.
See, man, that's just overwhelming my mind, man. See, we're looking at the past, and then that thing I just told you, we're 1 millionth. I was like in the future, and like, oh man, this heavy.
It is, man. It's just something like, it's so weird because someone was telling me like, no, not someone. Sorry, I keep saying someone because it's always someone. But I read these articles about like about time travel and about astronomy and stuff like that because I'm into it.
Yeah.
And they say that if you were an alien looking, if you were living in a different planet, hundreds of thousands of light years away from us, and you had a telescope like the Hubble telescope that we have, and you were looking at the sun right now, you would be looking at the time where the dinosaurs would still be alive. So technically, they would be in the past.
Right. Oh man, man, I'm telling you, man, this is all mind blowing.
So in other words, when we're looking at stars now, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like 3.6 billion years old, we're technically looking at it from when the light first emerged over there. And It took 3.6 million light years or light, whatever it is, to reach us. I'm sorry. And it's not until now that we're actually seeing that star, which means that if we were actually there at that moment, the star's probably not even there.
So somewhere far away, someone's looking at me. I'm delayed. I'm delayed, bro. I'm in the past. They're looking at the past.
They're looking at the past, man.
That's crazy.
Looking at the past.
And
it's just weird, it's just weird how everything all this is just kind of related. Like, we're living in the past, but we're present because of the way we're structured, we're living in the present.
Right.
But if you want to take it as far as the way the whole universe is structured, we're kind of living in the past.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird.
Thanks to this, now we'll live forever. Which is weird. It's a weird concept if you think about it. Like, did you ever see that show? What's it called? Is it Black Mirror?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's on Netflix, I think. Well, they had this one episode where, spoiler alert. No, it's not spoiler alert because in the beginning, but the I guess her boyfriend, he passes away, and I mean, the girlfriend, she's obviously sad, and somebody comes up to her, gives her this number or contact, whatever, and she's able to get this robot and download all the memories from that person who died into the robot. So in a way, that robot is conscious, or is the conscious of that person who died. Yeah. So it's like, it was such a weird episode, man. Like, that's
crazy.
In a way, the person was brought back to life just because you have all your memories online. You have the way you act, and I guess that robot would interpret, oh, this is how this person would have reacted. This is their thoughts. So this is how I'm gonna think. And it was just such a weird concept, and it's like that is gonna be the future, like, when we die. And I don't know, I've done this a couple of times too. It was like, you'll have family members or friends that pass away, and you miss them, so you go to their profile, their Facebook that they didn't delete because they passed away, and they're still there. Their image, their thoughts, their words.
The last things that they put.
Yeah. So it's such a weird concept. Like, in a way, they're still there.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Just like there's also this Netflix show called Altered Carbon or something like that.
Yeah, I heard it. I haven't seen it, but I heard it.
It's actually pretty good, and it talks about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you die, there's only one way to die, and I think it's through this chip, because your consciousness is uploaded to this chip.
Okay.
But if your physical form dies, the person or someone else can take that chip away and insert it into another body.
Oh, wow.
And then you resurrect again. Technically resurrect again.
Right.
Or as if you never died.
Just download it to a new body.
So the guy, the main character on the show, who has been living for like tens of hundreds of years already.
Yeah.
And he's just been morphing into a different body. First it was like this Asian dude, or I think he was an Asian dude before, or originally, and then he went to this white dude, and then became a woman or something like that, and then now he's like some black guy. I don't know. It was just like, so his consciousness is just like jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's all through this chip. You upload your consciousness, and then boop.
Yeah, I mean, even with surgery, like, you keep someone passes away, you still preserve their heart and it's passed to another person.
Yeah.
And I don't know, eventually we might be able to, like you said, transfer your brain.
Yeah, our consciousness.
Our consciousness.
It's just a weird. I mean, could you imagine, like,
just you're living forever? But I don't think I would want to live forever. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, but then also, like, you just seen everyone else die around you, and
so much
people
death.
so much death, and you're just that one person left.
I know. You're like,
for
like,
eternity.
man, all my homies are gone already. That's whack.
Yeah. I think eventually you would get to a point where it's like,
okay, it's time for me to
become numb. Yeah.
pack up the bags.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, it would be nice to live up to a certain year.
Yeah.
900 would be okay.
900.
1,000, just to be even.
Yeah.
1,000 years. What is that, a millennium? Can you
Yeah,
imagine? A
living
millennium? Dude, that'd be like, man, that'd be weird, but also cool at the same time.
What's the oldest human being right now, anyway? Or
I think it's like 120 or something like that.
120. Man, now imagine just
10 times that.
Was that 880 more years of that? Oh God. 880 years.
That's a lot. That's a long time, dude.
That's a long time. You can hear my dog.
Yeah.
His steps. I love that dog. Out of 15 years.
Oh man, 15 years, huh?
15 years. Time has gone by quick, man.
Yeah, 15 years, man. 15. What was I 15 years ago? I'm 30. I was still
freshman?
in high school.
Yeah, freshman in high school, I think.
Yeah. I was sophomore.
Yeah, because you're a year older than me, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time, man.
Yeah,
So you got him when
time.
you were 15. A freshman in high school.
In high school.
Dang.
I was just a puppy.
And I barely met Jessica at that time.
Yeah?
Yeah, barely met her. Barely met her. I was playing guitar. I was being all sexy. I was like, yes. And then she was over there singing. She was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care about you, David.
Oh man, that's funny, man. Like how just life turns out. Like everything turns out good for the good part.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah.
I think, like, man, it's kind of like cliche, but I really do believe it. It's like if you really do think positive things will happen. Like,
yeah.
I really do believe it. Like whatever your mind, like you said, what I went to earlier, whatever you set your mind to, that will happen, and you will get those outcomes.
Yeah. And I think your body responds to it just like that too.
Yeah.
Like if you keep thinking negative thoughts, then your body's just gonna go.
Yeah. You're gonna perceive all this negative stuff, and when you're interacting with people, you're just gonna, whatever they say, you become sensitive to it. You'll take it negative.
Yeah, yeah. You're becoming soft.
Yeah.
But if you're like positive, man, dude, you can go a long way with that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta keep telling yourself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. You got it, David. You got it.
You got it, man.
You got it in you, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Future billionaire.
That's what I tell you, because I don't always tell myself this, though. Sometimes I look myself in the mirror and I go, you got this, bro.
Yeah.
You got this. Come on, yeah, let's do it.
That's
and
awesome,
you
man.
go out and just go to work or...
Hey, man, you gotta pump yourself up. That's...
Yeah. Because no one else is going to do it, right?
Yeah, no one else. Every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while your wife will come and be like, yeah, you look good. Good job. And you're like, yes.
Yeah, but, man, you really gotta take care of yourself, and that's something I learned along in life. Like, if you want to take care of others, you gotta take care of yourself first. That there's no other way around it. Because if you don't make yourself a priority, it's just gonna end up bad for you, for everyone else.
But it's true though, man.
No.
I mean, you gotta make sure you do right too. You gotta be a master of your craft.
Yeah. Just be a good overall human being, and you'll get good stuff along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. All right, David. Well, I think we'll end it here. Thank you for helping me set up everything.
Of course.
So everything you guys see is thanks to David. He's wouldn't be able to do it without him.
And we'll edit some stuff.
Yeah,
we'll tidy up as we go along.
We'll make it better along the way as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate. Thank you just for being here and having this talk. Definitely look forward to doing it again, man.
For sure.
Appreciate it. And I think that's it. All right, guys. Ooh.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. Oh, what is 5 already? Crazy. How long did we go?